50% of business owners who set up in the UK will face these problems. Now, not only will these problems have the potential to cost you more money, it will cost you more time. And in the long run, it will cost you a lot of hassle, okay? So if you are in a situation where you want to set up a UK company in order to establish your business here in the UK, then I'm going to be sharing with you some of what these problems might be and potentially how you can avoid them. So if you are currently looking to establish your company here in the UK, one of the issues that you might fall into is actually in relation to location. Now, recently we had someone come to us whose company was actually rejected on this particular basis. Now, this was due to the fact that the jurisdiction of where the company was being located was not the same as where the registered office address was going to be. Now, this is a common issue that I see with so many candidates, which is basically making the error between having a difference between where the registered office address is and where the jurisdiction of the company is going to be based. So as an example, if you are looking to register your company and your company was going to be based, say, in London, i.e. your registered office address of your company is based in London, then you want to make sure that the jurisdiction that you are selecting when you are forming that company is also within London or England, okay? Rather than, say, Scotland or Wales, for instance. Now, next common error that we need to talk about is actually around director appointments. Now, this basically is when you are looking to register your UK company, you will usually need to appoint, at least a minimum of one director, unless, of course, maybe say you're opening a partnership, in which case you would need to put at least a minimum of 2 directors. So essentially, a lot of people will generally tend to open their UK company but fail to actually take into consideration what criteria is actually best for appointing a suitable director for that company. Now, in this instance, a classic error that's usually made is, say, when someone opens their company and they appoint someone who is, say, under the age of 16 as a director, this would not be suitable. Another error under this might be, say, if you were to open your UK company and you actually nominated or appointed someone who had actually already been disqualified from being a director in the UK, then that particular application will be automatically rejected. So this is definitely something you want to bear in mind if you are in the position where you're trying to set up a UK company and you are unsure or unclear around the criteria which may apply to actually appointing company directors here in the UK. Now, the next mistake I see a lot of candidates making is using the incorrect application form, or better yet, using the wrong version of the application form. Now, it's very important, first of all, when it comes to you opening your UK company, that you are clear on how that particular UK company is going to benefit you in terms of, say, tax implications, for instance, how it's actually going to help you accomplish your goals and your overall objectives. Because as I said, we had someone who actually came to us and who had made this particular error, basically opened a standard UK company, but unknown to him, that particular UK company was actually going to be unsuitable for his particular business venture. So as an example, if you're someone who is a non-resident, for instance, you might want to think about the tax implications of that particular UK company you're setting up. Okay, what is going to be the implications given that you are a non-resident? You might also want to be thinking about things along, immigration, if that applies to you. There are so many other factors that you might want to consider when it comes to actually setting up a UK company. There's so many other factors to consider, so it's important to take the time and research what particular company structure would be of benefit to you, and making sure that you're actually selecting the right application form to open that company. Now, the next point I want to bring to your attention is actually around home address issues, and this is basically due to the fact that when you are registering your UK company, you will usually need to put down a residential address for the directors. Now, if you are putting down an address which might be a commercial address, then Companies House might actually potentially reject that application. So it's important to think ahead when you are actually making your application and ensure that whatever residential address you are putting on is not a commercial address, because if it is, then the chances of that application being rejected is going to be pretty high. The next mistake I want to bring to your attention is actually around PO Box. Now, I get a lot of questions around this, and I will definitely say that you do not want to fall into the trap of using PO Box when it comes to registering your company. Okay, this is because it will immediately get flagged and Companies House will definitely reject that application. Instead, you want to make sure that whatever address you are using is a full address, okay, including the postcode, etc. So the way to get around this is to ensure that you are using a service-based business address, and obviously there are packages that can offer you this. We do have such a package on our website, so if you are interested and you want to make sure that you are actually keeping your private residential address private, then you can definitely make a purchase for our service business address and director's address from our website. Almost all company registrations get rejected as a result of simple but basic errors that can easily be avoided. Now, some of my best tips will be to make sure that where possible, you are trying to use the online version rather than paper versions to actually make your submissions. You make sure that you are also using the correct versions of the application form where necessary. And if possible, use company registration services or our services online to actually register your company. Now, in the event that you have already registered your UK company, then you want to make sure you're clear on what exactly you need to do next after you register your UK company. In that instance, you want to make sure you watch this video right here, where I've gone through all the things you need to make sure to do once you have successfully registered your UK company. Until the next time, I will see you in another video.